everybody, and welcome into this special edition of Rink Report from the sweetest place on earth, Hershey, Pennsylvania, here at Giant Center. I'm Katie Florio, joined alongside Tarek El-Bashir. Tarek, it's great to be here talking some prospects today. A lot to look forward to with the Hershey Bears this season. But, of course, we have to get into the Capitals first. Coming off of a really strong win, 4-1 victory over the Seattle Kraken, and that was an emphasis one. They needed a big bounce back after that loss to Vancouver, and they made a statement in a variety of ways.
Yeah, no doubt. I like the Capital start overall. 5-2. Look, it's hard to win every game in the NHL. You're going to have some bad starts, and we saw that happen against Vancouver. What I like about this Capitals team, and I've seen this all under Spencer Carberry all these years, he's able to get the guys to self-correct within a week, within a month. When things don't go well, he can kind of get the season back on track, and that was a statement game against Seattle. Look, the power play has goals in 4 straight games, trending in the right direction. I really like what we're seeing from the goaltenders. I like their 5-1-5 play. I think this is going to be another very good season for the Capitals.
A lot of different guys doing good things in that win. Ryan Leonard now goals in back-to-back games, starting to see his confidence come through more and more. That third line's still a little bit of a question mark, but we've seen some lineup changes. Justin Sordev playing center as well. I thought he looked really good there, which I know Carberry has called him a natural as well. So maybe not everything is in place yet, but it does seem like the right steps are being taken forward. Yeah,
no doubt. And Ryan Leonard is a guy that over the last 2 weeks or so has really jumped off the page to me. 3 goals, and like I said, I mean, those back-to-back goals, that's the first time a rookie has had back-to-back goals for the Capitals since Nicholas Backstrom way back in 2008. Incredible
Stat. A lot of guys doing good things. Alexei Protas, another one. But, hey, we got another Protas brother to talk about as well. Ilya Protas, we'll get to him later on, but first we want to bring in the voice of the Hershey Bears, Zach Fish. Zach, thanks for having us out today. Always fun when we can come down here and talk to someone who knows this team better than anyone.
Great having everybody. You got Chocolate, you got the Caps prospects here. What more could you want here in Hershey? It's been a good start to the season for the guys up top in D.C., and the Bears are starting to find their footing. It's a young team, so a lot of really intriguing players for Capitals fans to watch down here in Hershey.
Take us through the start of that season. Maybe not the record so far that you want, but it's early on. What guys have stood out? I know Tarek will get into the specifics, different guys, things like that, but these first 4 games, what jumps off the bat?
Yeah, I think that it's a young team, and they got to find consistency. New coaching staff, Derek King coming in, preaching patience with these young guys, but there are 12 first-year players on the roster. There are 13 on the opening night roster. One has been sent to South Carolina, but a lot of these guys are getting introduced to pro hockey for the first time or as regulars for the first time, and there is a big adjustment coming from juniors or college to this level. You're playing against men. The competition level is high, more so than anybody really thinks. So we've seen the growing pains. There's been a couple real good performances. 1 win to speak of so far in the 4 games for the team. 1 that was an overtime loss. So 3 points, but a couple games that have not been where you want to be. Consistency, such a big part of it, finding it night in and night out. There's going to be growing pains, but I think we're seeing glimpses of a lot of potential from a lot of different guys.
We're going to be talking to Ilya Protas a little later in the show. I wanted to get your impressions of how he's done so far.
He is a guy that I think Caps fans are going to like. Well, one, we know him already because he's a carbon copy of his brother in a lot of ways. Super personable, super well-spoken young man. His head on his shoulders is fantastic. And he soaks up everything the coaches say. He absorbs that information. You can tell because of Alexei. He comes from a good hockey family, but that reach, that size, he's already 6'6", and he's got that wingspan. He scored his first goal as an empty netter, but he played great that game. He set up a goal as well. He's been noticeable in all aspects. Sometimes you get guys that come in at this level, they're center icemen. How are they going to do in the circle and with their defensive responsibilities? Nothing really to report negative there from him. It's just finding the consistency at that level and being patient with them. There's no reason to rush him to the National Hockey League. He's 19 years old, but you see a lot of what his brother brought to the table here, and now it's just figuring it out at the professional level. But I think the sky's the limit for him. I think it'll be important to preach patience for him as far as the points go, but the body of work itself so far leaves us very encouraged here, and I'm sure the Caps perhaps is thinking the same thing.
Andrew Crystal, another name Capitals fans always keeping their eye on, 2 assists in the first game, but a big adjustment for a lot of these guys coming from juniors to pro. What have you seen out of his game as well?
Yeah, I thought Crystal would come in and be a big point producer, and I think everyone's hoping that he is. He comes in the first game, gets a couple assists. It's going to get your confidence there. He's been a little snake-bitten so far.
Yeah.
He's had some really good chances.
Yeah.
One of those goes in, you get the confidence, right? And then you're feeling pretty good about yourself. So I'm looking forward to seeing him bury his first one, hopefully this weekend, a couple games against Lehigh Valley, rivalry games, but it's his play away from the puck. Between the blue lines particularly, it's a lot more difficult, and there are some big bodies. He's been thrown around a little bit. He handles it well. He bounces right back up. He tries to get engaged physically. So he's doing the things right that he's supposed to. It's just going to be an adjustment, especially when you could really do what you wanted offensively. He's watched a lot of video. I know he was in with our goaltending coach the other day, learning how to score on these net minders at this level. He's in with the coaching staff. They're preaching patience to him right now, like we said with Ilya as well, to figure out what it's going to take. But everybody's adjustment is different. He's got to learn how to use the lack of size that he has to his advantage at this level in different areas. Team hasn't had a ton of power plays either and hasn't found the success where I think he can do some damage too.
I want to ask you a little bit about Ryan Chesley. I feel like he's a player who has maybe jumped over some others in the prospect pool and maybe even allowed this team to move on from Vinny Iorio.
He skates really well. He had a great first impression down here in Hershey last year. He came in out of the University of Minnesota, had a strong collegiate career, and we heard a lot about him, the World Juniors, gold medal, and what are we getting in Ryan Chesley? And he can skate like the wind. He moves the puck, and he's put up some points. He scored in his very first game coming in last year, made a case for himself on a veteran team. Really to play in the playoffs last year. He wasn't needed, but on a veteran team that was going for the Calder Cup, he was very close to getting the lineup with maybe one more entry. He's come in this year. He's been paired with a good veteran, a former Capital, Aaron Ness, the Bears captain down here, 2 former Golden Gophers, 2 Minnesota guys. A lot of comfort level between those two. Anytime he makes a mistake, Ness is there to bail him out. But Chesley's skating ability, his offensive instincts, I think they're opened some eyes in the organization how good he can be.
He looks
at
like
this
he's
level.
close.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy that could make an impact this year if there are injuries. The Caps seem to be deep at defense. They lose Iorio, a little bit less deep now, but he's a guy that could be knocking on the door sooner than later with his play. And he's getting big minutes too.
Yeah.
Caps fans always want to see guys come down here and jump right in. He's out there late in the game. He's out there on the penalty kill. He was on the second power play unit to start the season, so he's getting those opportunities.
Well, a lot of guys that we look forward to watching. Ilya Protas, one of them, who we just had the chance to catch up with. Well, Ilya, thank you so much for joining us here on Rink Report today from Hershey. We have a lot to get into with you, your living situation story. Sounds like you guys are off to a good start. But first and foremost, I just want to start with opening weekend, your first few pro games. How's everything been?
Oh, it's been unreal. Hershey is a great spot. I'm so happy to be here, and great group, great city, and just really exciting week for us. Not a great start, but like a team. But I think with time we'll more adjust for everyone and get together, and we'll be good.
How important was it for you to get that goal and that assist kind of right off the bat to kind of get the confidence going?
Yeah. My brother said empty netter doesn't count, but
A goal is a goal.
Yeah, my goal is a goal. I'll take it though. Yeah, and but after that he said they don't ask how, they ask how many.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing, and it's good to help team to win, and when you get points, it's just a good little thing and to give you confidence. But I was focusing just on my game, first couple pro games just to get things started. Was a little nervous, but with time started adapt and feel those like coaches who trust me and put me out there in the different situations, and was just enjoying it.
Nice.
You've had your fair share of preseason games, which you did well in, but now to really be here in the season, first full regular season, what do you feel like has been the biggest difference or adjustments you've had to make from juniors compared to here in the AHL?
Oh, it's probably like quickness and how quick is the game. It's on a different level for sure, especially in those decisions. In juniors, when you beat the one guy, you got a little more time, but here you beat one guy, it's another one on you. So it was surprising, and you got to make the decision really quick, and I got to work on it.
So one of my favorite things about talking to young players who make the jump to the pros is personal life. You're 19 years old, you're used to having a billet mom or your real mom, and now you're out on your own. Who are you living with, and how is that going?
Oh, Gonna be definitely a tough year for me, especially in cooking wise. So, but I'm gonna live with two more guys, Eric Smateka and Bogdan Triniev. So yeah, and boys call him our Papa Bogi,
Because you guys ride with him.
He's the driver, right?
Yeah, always drive us to the rink and. For dinners and stuff.
Who's cooking? Who's cooking?
Not yet, though. Not yet. We're just going somewhere for dinner.
That's gonna get expensive.
Yeah, definitely gotta be in McDonald's a lot, but it's fine though. Yeah, but I'm really excited. In childhood, I was liking to help my mom to cooking. She said I was the best, and hopefully I still got that talent.
Better than Alexei?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and gotta cook for guys.
Nice.
How do you feel like off the ice? You're with them so much, and you'll get into the bus rides and things like that. But with all of you so young, living together, having so much fun, what do you think that can do for your product on the ice when you truly are building chemistry beyond leaving this rink?
Oh, it's great, and because you're always with them, and you get to know each other really well, and especially it's part of your life now. They're always with you every day, every single day, and sometimes I get tired of those guys, but it's fine. So I'm really excited for the year.
So now that you've had a month or so NHL training camp and you've been here, you've been able to kind of analyze the pro game. What's the one thing that you feel like you need to focus on here over this season?
It's probably kind of, I don't know, I would say physicality, but it's more about protect the puck more in those areas, just to be harder in the net when I'm going to the net, to be in net front, and just in the corners to win those battles. And in the G zone, it's huge for centerman. So I got to develop those stuff and everything else too. And we got Wendy, our skating coach, so I got to work with her a lot during the year, and got to improve and continue to develop.
Has Alexei come to visit you? I mean, it's only 130 miles away.
Yeah, I mean, you tell him, but
Message received.
I already told him it's just 2 hours drive, and he said probably not my day off. So and didn't see him in Hershey this year. Hopefully he'll come.
Maybe you can get a car and go see him.
Or
maybe.
what do you call him, Papa Bogey? He can drive you guys down.
Probably Papa Bogey wants a day off too sometimes.
Well, great stuff. Well, Ilya, thank you so much as always. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Wishing you the best of luck this season, and we'll certainly be following along.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Ilya.
you.
Well, Papa Bogey, how about that? Zach, have you heard that? Is this the first you're hearing that nickname?
Papa Bogey, when he came here, he didn't speak much English and was pretty timid, and now he's driving around and one of the older guys. It's crazy. And talking to Ilya, he said they were building all the furniture they're going to buy today. We need to get the cameras there for that because that's a reality show in itself.
I'm just picturing the three of them driving around Hershey, Pennsylvania, 19 years old. He's telling me too, he's Uber Eats and all their food so far, just figuring out life. And that's something that I think you're here to play hockey. You're here to focus on your game, but at the same time, these young kids are figuring out life together, and that just has to be so special for them.
It's a different world once you get to the pro ranks. Your billet family is not a thing of the past now, and you get thrown into apartment hunting. And I remember a few years ago, a couple unnamed Capitals prospects sitting behind me on a bus at one point and debating back and forth why they were getting a huge bill because their rent wasn't paid because something in direct deposit wasn't working.
I know who these players are. They will remain unnamed.
Yes, they will remain unnamed. These type of things happen for these guys. They have to learn and go through the lumps of life and really the differences of being out on your own and being an adult. So it's something off the ice that we don't take a lot of consideration, that you give them a lot of keys to try to make them strong and make them independent, and some take to it a little quicker than others for sure.
And you mentioned the fact that Ilya is so personable. I mean, when he looked at the camera and was like, Alexei, it's only 2 hours down to Hershey.
Tell him. He better be listening. That's what he's saying. A little passive aggressiveness.
Alexei's a great interview. I'm really looking forward to Ilya getting down there because I think having the two of them in the same room is going to be hilarious.
Absolutely. Well, if it's not his brother, I know Ilya is very close with Eric Smateka as well. His name, another one we need to mention. Know he's been playing third, fourth line. Good PKer for you guys as well. What have you seen out of him?
Well, that's impressive to have kind of that repertoire already, to be a PK guy and playing those big, important minutes at 19 years old. Talking to Derek King, he really believes in Eric Matejko and what he brings to the table. Not a lot of guys are trusted in late game situations at that age. And no, this is a professional already. He has the little things in his game that you want that's going to make him a player that maybe not this year, but sooner than later you can fill in if you have an injury in your bottom six. Because look at what Spencer Carberry wants. He wants guys that are defensively responsible, that he can trust out there in any situation. Takeo's already shown that through 4 games in Hershey. And like Chesley, he's jumped some guys. He probably wasn't slated to be the third line center to start the season. Maybe fourth line or on the outside looking in, and he's slid into that lineup a little bit. He's played every game so far, and the coaches have liked what they've seen. And he's been out there in those moments where they need a block, and he's not afraid to put his body in front of it. Mixing that physicality in a little bit. He's a big guy, but he's got a clutch gene in him too. We saw it at the World Juniors, so excited to see that scoring develop a little bit at this level.
I feel like this organization has the market cornered on 6'6" forwards. I mean, they just have a lot of really big players.
A lot of people that I make sit down to do interviews with me. We keep things seated here, especially when they're about a foot taller than me. But, hey, they're out there on the ice making an impact. They found some really good players.
And I know we're in Hershey and we're talking about Bears prospects, but Lyndon Lakovic is a guy I'm sure you guys have your eye on because he might be here towards the end of the season, right?
Yeah, that's a guy that impressed in training camp. I went in and was excited to see that they had drafted him. And you look at camp and you go, it's a big body right there, and he can move. And had a great camp, and those are the type of players that we watch. It's been Crystal or Protus the last couple of years that you could get as a black ace here, and those guys, it's invaluable experience whether they get playing time or not to come in here. Some can jump in and help right away. Others just soak it all up in their time in Hershey, and then they're ready to come into camp or to come into the pro ranks next year. They know what it's all about. They get familiar with the coaching staff, the Capitals development staff. There's always somebody here from the Capitals development staff, so hopefully he has a great season in juniors. I know there was talk of him impressing in training camp, and he really did. So a guy that we're watching and hoping that he's a Bear in the future.
What's the latest on Miro?
Ivan Miroshnichenko got hurt in morning skate before Saturday's game last week. Crashed into the boards, just took a spill. Upper body injury. Hasn't skated this week so far with the team. So we'll see if he's able to go this weekend. Not great missing the first couple practices, but hopefully nothing serious. Talking to him, he seemed like he was doing pretty well. So if he misses this weekend, hopefully that's it. But haven't heard the latest from the trainers.
Well, wishing the best for him. Zach, thanks for doing this. A lot to like of this team. A lot to look forward to down the prospect pipe. And for that, we spoke more with head coach Derek King, newly named head coach in his first season with Hershey, off to a good start, and great chat with him earlier today. We're now joined by the head coach of the Hershey Bears, Derek King. Coach, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been a fun day watching practice, but first and foremost, how are you adjusting to life in Hershey?
It's an adjustment, I'll tell you that. But no, it's been good. It's the people here are dynamite. Obviously, they got great fans here, and management and Hershey itself, entertainment and resorts have just been outstanding with me.
So, a couple of the Capitals' top prospects are down here: Andrew Crystal, Ilya Protus. How do you help guys who had dominant junior seasons last year kind of make that adjustment to playing against grown men in the pros?
Well, it's not easy, trust me, because I kind of look back at my junior career, and I put up a lot of numbers, and then when I turned pro, it took me a while to figure this game out. I mean, there's some good hockey players in the NHL, and there's some good hockey players out here in the AHL. So it's more just learn the little things about the game, the details of the game, and they'll help you get back to where you should be. And I think that's what, especially Crystal's missing that. He's so used to kind of doing whatever he wants out on the ice and score 100 and something points.
Right.
You can't do that now. So he's got to learn to play without the puck.
Right.
And when he does get the puck, he'll be in a real good position to use that skill of his. And Protus the same. But Protus, big body, has been great on the face-offs for us. Young kid, can skate. He's got some upside to him skill-wise. So, different players, but, they're on the same track.
Well, lots of video, I'd imagine.
Too much video. And I hate sending guys and bringing them in for video, but it's what we do, right?
Yeah.
At this level, we got to teach.
Yep.
Going from most recently your time in the NHL, not that there's, it's all old there, but older guys, married families to the AHL, and this team in particular, a younger team this year. How does maybe your coaching style change at all when you are dealing with a lot of 19-year-olds, still guys like that? As
well, they're
opposed to
like
maybe
the
vets?
age of my kids, so
Yeah, exactly.
I got to watch what I say around them. But no, it doesn't change. I always believed I was a good communicator with the young kids. Being in Rockford, we had a lot of young players, as you know, and I'm so used to that. I'm not used to an older team. So our old guys have been great. They've accepted me. I think we're trusting each other now, and it's just more just talking to these kids like they're my kids.
When I asked you about Ryan Chesley, it's a guy that showed up at training camp, and everyone was kind of curious to see how he'd do. And I feel like he jumped over a few people.
Yeah,
how's he doing so far?
He's doing fine. Yeah. Again, young team, not a veteran team, so it's hard to protect these guys. So the mistakes are maybe a little more glorified. But now, he's feeling himself into this, how we play and how I want to play with these guys. And you're dealing with young players out there. They're going to make mistakes. So especially on the D, it's hard.
Yeah. Everyone sees the mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And on the lines of specific players, back to forward, obviously down in Washington, I should say, those fans have come to love their Alexei Protas, and so I know they are very excited to have another Protas brother coming on through. I know it's early in the season, so we don't even have to get into stats and things like that yet, but what are you seeing from him specifically, a guy that is able to be the size that he is and still have the speed in the way that he can move?
Well, he's a specimen for sure. And I don't look at stats. I tell these guys, I'm not going to tell you how to play the game. I'm just going to suggest some things. So, and they can listen if they want. If they don't, that's up to them. But Prodes he's a true pro, and you can tell he's grown up in a family of hockey, but he plays both ways. He plays both sides of the puck. He's a special kid, and I think Washington's going to be very happy with him.
At one of the training camp scrimmages, I ran into both brothers. I think they were talking to Alexei's little daughter, and I just jokingly said, "Are there any more Protuses hanging out in Belarus?" And Alexei laughed. He looked at me. He goes, "No, into the line."
Yeah,
I was like,
well,
"Darn!"
Hopefully there's more, and Wash can snag them and get them here. So, but yeah, they're nice kids. They're all great
Good
kids.
family,
They're
you
all
can tell.
and.
Family.
He's a pleasure to have around.
How's Clay Stevenson handling, for the first time in his career, being the guy?
He's been good. He's kept us in games. It's not always, like I said, going back. And I don't want to keep harping on the young team, but we make mistakes. He covers up for most of them, and he's been doing a great job for us.
Great kid.
Coach, thanks so much for your time today. We look forward to following along all season. Best of luck.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Rink Report today. Tarek, always a pleasure.
That was a
Sitting
blast.
next to you, talking hockey. So once again, we really appreciate everyone tuning in to this special edition of Rink Report, Prospect Edition from Hershey, Pennsylvania.